Thank you very much. I hope that you can hear from me. This presentation, as you said, is going to focuses on land cover change and challenges for climate adaptation in the Sahel. And I want to say that the methodology that we use for this work were essentially based on our own experience and also on the literature review. So I will be giving a short overview of the Sahel. Then I will go through climate change in the Sahel, land cover change in this area, and also hence with land cover change and using challenges for adaptation in the Sahel region of Africa. So geographically, we have to say that the Sahel is that region which is located between the Sahara in the north and also the tropical savanna in the south. The map can show it clearly. And most of people depend essentially on ecosystem goods and services for their daily life. And we have to also notice that the main livelihood activities are agriculture and livestock. So the Sahel ecosystem are nowadays threatened by what? By anthropogenic activities like agriculture, wood cutting, overgrazing, but also by climate change. And people have to note that climate change is not new for the Sahelians in West Africa, because they are already facing the dramatic impact of climate change and also its consequences on their livelihoods. But what do we notice in terms of climate change effects or climate change manifestation? Climate change in the Sahel is rising temperature, 1.5 times faster than in the rest of the world. Climate change also is heavy rainfalls with recurrent flood events, like in 2019 in Ouagadougou. Climate change is also rainfall deficit with recurrent drought events with consequences on crop and also on animals and people's livelihoods. Faced to those climate change effects, national, local, and also at regional levels, several adaptation strategies, technologies, and measures have been adopted to face this phenomena. At local level, we have, for instance, a stone line developed by farmers. We also have half moons and also design technique developed largely in northern Burkina Faso. But 4 categories of adaptation actions have been found by April et al. 2017, and they're summarized like that. The first category of adaptation in the Sahel is related to technical, and among them we have water harnessing, we have soil conservation, we have climate monitoring, and also early harvesting. Another category is indigenous problem-solving adaptation options. And in this category, we have income diversifications. We have also migration, like Prof. Isidoriano just mentioned. We also have farm input and also pasture and so on. The third category is related to socially problem-solving. And we can mention partnership between local people and development projects. We also have creating local community for natural resource management and also investment in education of kids. And the last categories of adaptation is economic related adaptation options. And we have among them market gardening, we have savings, we have access to credit and also selling of personal belongings. However, we have to notice that with all those strategies put in place by government, put in place by local population, some challenges are there. And those challenges are really related to change in land cover. Changes in land cover is inducing challenges to efficient adaptation to climate change in the Sahel. in terms of land cover change, we have to notice that in the past decade, the Sahel region has experienced important changes in land cover, and that are reflected mainly by cropland expansions, also expansion of human settlements. We have increasing of biolands and the reduction of natural vegetation cover, especially steppes and also some savanna biome. And the main causes of those land cover changes are urbanization, prolonged drought events, decrease in annual precipitation, rapid population growth, and growing demand for food. So the land cover change, as we just mentioned, is inducing challenges. If we take, for instance, the cropland expansion and the increasing of bioland, this change in land cover is creating or leading to challenges. For instance, the increasing of soil degradation and the risk of low crop production, which increases vulnerability to food insecurity. Because the degradation of natural vegetation induced by cropland expansion, the multiplication of barren area is leading to soil degradation and increase the risk of famine, and making adaptation difficult. Cropland expansion also is reducing fallow lands. And also, as I said, the loss of natural vegetation. All those challenges is really affecting adaptation in the Sahel region. Adaptation challenges like challenges related to expansion of human settlement. So, for instance, urbanization. In West Africa, a lot of cities are growing in terms of or are knowing what we call urban sprawling. And the risk related to urban sprawling is the building in lowland, which increase the vulnerability for flood. And this is mainly the case for most of Sahelan countries, cities like Ouagadougou, like Dakar, Bamako, and so on. And we have to notice that expansion of urbanization is also leading to loss of natural vegetation cover. And all those things also making adaptation difficult. And lastly, the reduction of natural vegetation cover induced by land cover change. This is also leading to loss of ecosystem goods and services. For instance, we have the emission of CO2, gas CO2 into the atmosphere, induced by natural vegetation cover reductions. This is going to do what? This is going to amplify the effect of greenhouse gas, so increase temperature and climate change, and so on, that will lead to climate change dramatic effects on people's livelihood in the Sahel. We also have the increasing of land degradation and the risk of food insecurity because the loss of natural vegetation cover. As we mentioned earlier, in this area, in the Sahel, most of people depend on ecosystem goods and services. So the loss of vegetation is going to be dramatic for them because they will be going to face food insecurity. And also the loss of natural vegetation can be seen as loss of habitat for flora and fauna. And this is also going to impact negatively most of the adaptation strategy developed by local population. So I want to end by this slide by saying that, yes, the Sahel area know nowadays a lot of events. For instance, we have the climatic effect, but also we have terrorism attack, we have insecurities. But in terms of land use cover change, there is a serious need to monitor the change in land use cover for more sustainable land use and also for efficient adaptation to climate change in the Sahel. This area is already suffering from this phenomena, but also facing the effect or the dramatic effect of insecurity. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and your question are welcome. Thank you.